This short film showcases concrete actions and pathways that student groups are taking to steer their learning environments and national education systems towards a fair energy transition to 100% renewable energy. Our purpose is to show students that they too can become part of this transition and that their actions have the potential to create a fossil-free future.
The reason that we started ICA was we recognized that higher education institutions are crucial hubs for climate research. But at the same time, these same universities have a really outdated financial and energy infrastructure. So they maintain a connection with fossil fuel industry in 4 different spectrum. First, they invest a significant portion of their money in fossil fuel industries. Second, most universities power their facilities using fossil fuels. And third, higher institutions continue to promote fossil fuel industries through career fairs and advertisements. And finally, they still accept funding from these fossil fuel sources for research. And this research often comes with obligations to improve fossil fuel related technology. Our first campaign was on divestment, which we initiated in 2019. After 3 years of mobilizing the students, gathering 1,000+ petition signatures from the UW community and getting all student body resolutions in favor of divestment, the board finally decided to fully divest UW's $124 million direct fossil fuel investments by 2027. Other campaigns that we are currently working on is to decarbonize our campus. We have a specific demand to cut 95% of the university's Scope 1 emissions by 2035. The current campus decarbonization plans have a much slower timeline, and our demand is to expedite that. Last May, we mobilized 100+ students for a rally, with several ICA members chained themselves to UW's power plant for days. This protest definitely garnered a lot of attention on this issue, and it initiated important conversation at different levels of the university. We are also actively working to stop UW promote fossil fuel industries in career fairs, and we held a mass sit-in protest in front of the career fair. And we are still continuing to strategize that and work on this demand. The other final demand that we have is that the university refuse all kinds of fossil fuel money for research.
Planet is the UK's largest network of student activists campaigning for social and climate justice. We also run the People and Planet University League, which ranks UK universities based on environmental and ethical performance criteria. As students, we believe it's time to take things into our own hands and dismantle the ways in which universities uphold systems of global injustice. We campaign on climate and migrant justice, and we'll win it. Thanks to incredible work of students and staff in the Fossil Free campaign, 103 UK universities have now divested from the fossil fuel industry. Excluding fossil fuel companies from investments is a really powerful act of solidarity that dismantles the industry's social license and signals the end of our collective consent for it to continue its operations. But we can and we must go further. Oil, gas and mining industries are turning up and recruiting on campuses across the UK. So students are now fighting back as part of the coordinated fossil-free careers campaign. We're campaigning for institutional change and to sever the recruitment pipelines through which our universities supply the fossil fuel industry with a graduate workforce. We've already won at 7 UK universities with fossil-free careers, and we're making progress at a lot more. But as top-down actions continue to fail through systems which were never set up to dismantle injustice, we're instead using our position as students to act in solidarity with communities on the front lines of the climate and ecological crisis. We call on students to organise on their own campuses across the world as part of a global struggle for climate justice.
Fossil Fuel for UConn formed as a coalition of students, both undergrad, graduate, and as well as faculty, to really push for climate action at the University of Connecticut. After a mobilization of about 200 students at a rally in 2022, the current president of UConn took a stance on decarbonization and committed to zero carbon by 2040 with an interim goal of carbon neutrality by 2030. Since then, there was supposed to be a sustainability action plan to outline a roadmap for this goal, as well as work done by a President's Carbon Reduction Working Group on this process. Since then, there was kind of a lackluster. So this semester, we tried to up our tactics and our pressure on administration as well as the Board of Trustees for the goal of decarbonization and getting a sustainability action plan, as well as including demands for divestment and the full divestment of indirect and direct funds from the UConn endowment.
And so this semester, we started up by kind of bringing everything together, the work over the past 10 years of organizing to decarbonize, divest, and get transparency from the school on those processes and where they're at. We brought that together into a petition that got 1,000 signatures in just about a week of it being released, and we delivered that to the Board of Trustees, and when we didn't get really any response, we continued to apply pressure. We did visual demonstrations on campus. We brought a march of students to the next Board of Trustees meeting with endorsements from student groups and faculty across campus. At that meeting, we did get a response, and there was an endorsement from the Board of Trustees, but a lack of clarity from administration. We continue to apply pressure. We hosted a rally recently, and we're going to keep going because these things really deserve our attention. It can start with you. Going beyond divestment means learning everything you can about the ways fossil fuels interact with your campuses and universities.
You don't have to be an expert. Don't fret if you don't know how to build a campaign or mobilize. Find the people who have similar interests as you and start from there.
Being a student activist means so many things, and it can be researching, it could be advocating behind the scenes, it could be having discussions.
And taking action on campus is a way that we can use our positions to tackle wider systems of injustice that go beyond our universities.